Hello, this is Sophomore Astrology. My name is Sarah, and for this video, I'm going to talk about Mars in Virgo. So be sure to like, share, and comment on this video, and let me know if not only if it resonates, but if I'm telling you something different or new that you've never heard of about this placement with Mars being in Virgo. And subscribe to my channel. Also, I'm on Instagram at Sophomore Astrology, and then you can find me on sophomoreastrology.com. I have a website. There you can message me for a natal chart, birth chart reading. And also I have a blog. I just post about random spiritual stuff. I try to post on Wednesdays, not every Wednesday, but I do my best to post. So you could go on ahead and check that out. So Mars in Virgo. Mars as a planet, first and foremost, is hot, dry, nocturnal. It is of the fire element, but it's also masculine. Mars also rules Aries, the signs Aries and Scorpio. Now, when I'm talking about Mars energy, I'm talking about like physical energy, your sexual drive. What are you motivated by? How are you motivated? What puts the wind beneath your wings to help you soar in life, and just how is your energy manifested in this 3D world? Like, how does your energy embody itself third dimensionally? That's what Mars energy is. Now, when you put Mars in Virgo is, if you kind of think of it more from an Aries lens, Virgo as a sign, when it comes to how Aries and Virgo get along, Virgo is not in the radar of Aries when we're talking about astrology, but Virgo and Scorpio, you could say those two are homies because they're sextile of each other. They're different elements, but they're the same gender. So that's how Mars in Virgo kind of still has a more positive aspect to it. That's the thing about placements in astrology is that like if a aspect is a little bit more difficult, you just learn from it more. But if a aspect is a little bit more pleasing, it just means that you've worked on those characteristics in past lives. Like these are personality qualities that you've just obtained over time through practice of past lives, right? So Mars in Virgo is a comfortable placement because Virgo and Scorpio are cool, right? So Virgo as a sign is nocturnal, it's feminine, it's cold, and it's dry, and it's also earthy. So I kind of feel like because Virgo as a sign is cold, it kind of tempers the heat from Mars. Both of them are still dry though, and both of them are nocturnal. So that's why I kind of feel like they do get along. I think the best compatible relationships are those that there's enough similarities to kind of like still kind of resonate and see one in another, but then there's enough friction energy to kind of keep things afloat and keep things exciting and new and bring more to the situation, right? So that's why I kind of feel like this placement is a little bit on the more positive than just neutral. So when we're talking about these two together, Mars and Virgo, first off, I think of, because Virgo is ruled by Mercury, Mercury is all about communication. So when we take a very verbal, communicative sign and we place a very physical planet in that sign, then I feel like I just kind of think of body language, communicating with the body. I think of someone who's I think of a ballet dancer, people who are very meticulous about their physicality. There's a perfectionism and an analysis constantly. There's a meticulous nature about their physical energy. That's why I kind of think of like someone, like I said, like a dancer or a ballet dancer, where there's a lot of pressure to kind of really make sure that the way that the body moves, it moves in a way that it communicates what it wants to communicate precisely. That's definitely a Mars and Virgo type of energy right there, because the planets, you could say in so many ways, because of Virgo, Mercury and Mars come together. So I just think of like interpretive dancing as well. Trying to communicate what you want to communicate, but just doing it through the body. So a couple of pointers I want to make a point about is that Virgo is a mutable energy, but because it's also very earthy, the Mars and Virgo people, they could get tired easily if they kind of focus a lot on their perfectionistic ways, because Mars and Virgo really want to focus on the details and making something perfect. They really want to, like, say if they're making a puzzle, right? They will focus on every single puzzle piece. If it's 1,000 pieces, they'll still make sure that every single piece of the puzzle will make the whole puzzle perfect. They understand the perfect parts make a perfect whole. And that's what Virgo is as a sign. Virgo is representative of the Virgin. Now, of course, I think over time, the idea of virgin, someone just automatically thinks of someone who's never has partaken in any, like, sexual activity, right? But in ancient times, virgin meant complete. And Virgo rules the 6th house, which is all about service and health. So I feel like someone with their Mars in Virgo, they're very particular in how they maintain their body and how they maintain their health. These are people I kind of think of who really count their calories. I also feel like when they're in the gym, they have a very meticulous and particular regimen about how they work out. One day might be chest and shoulders, another day might be back and triceps. Like, I kind of feel like they're very careful about working out each body part of their body to make sure that they're getting the most out of their workout. So, and then with that being, though, because they're so able to be perfect and hone in and zoom in on the details, they might get burnt out by not zooming out and seeing the whole picture of things, because they'll just be so focused on making sure that all the details are in line, and there could be 1,000 details, and they'll get burnt out over the thousands of details that they want to focus on. So I kind of feel like if Mars and Virgo just understands, or excuse me, if Mars and Virgo just understands that, like, hey, every 2 hours I need to take a break, they need to kind of give themselves and let themselves know that, hey, after a certain point, I get tired because I'm still human. I'm not a machine. Mars and Virgo wants to be a machine so badly, but just remember that you're still a human body where you still need to rest, you still need to eat, and you still need to do the things you need to do to take care of yourself, even if you're hyper focused on a project or you want to just make sure that your piece of work just is as perfect as it can be. You still need to take care of yourself. So there's the two-sided coin of health with Virgo, where they might neglect their health for the sake of their work, or they might be so meticulous about making sure that their health is just on point. I feel like these people might have not just a particular way of that they go about their diet, but their exercise, but also feel like they might just buy a particular brand of vitamins because they just love that brand and what that specific brand does to their body. Even if, like, maybe someone might have a little bit more, like, lenient view of what vitamins to get. You get what I'm saying? So that's one thing I wanted to talk about. And then, yeah, like I was mentioning before, Mars and Virgo people are motivated by perfection. They can kind of see the potential that either like a system, a person, or whatever they're looking at, they could see the top potential of that particular thing, person, or whatever. So for them, they will work very diligently to really push that thing, person, or whatever to make them reach the top of their, potential and really like perform at the highest level. A Mars and Virgo I honestly kind of think like a Mars and Virgo is like a coach who could see like the diamond in the rough with their players, and they know how to like mold them and shave off the rough and know how to condition them and encourage them so that they really build this like all-star player. Mars and Virgo can definitely take something from nothing, so I definitely feel like that's a thing going on with them. Now, when we're talking about how they are when it comes to sex, you could maybe, the most concrete way of saying it is like, oh, Mars and Virgo, right? Virgo is representative of the Virgin. So these people might wait to have sex till marriage. That's like the most basic example of Mars and Virgo. But it's not even just about like, something simple as that, that like society has been pushing for like hundreds of years. But it's more like Mars and Virgo people are particular about whether it's their lover, the positions. They only like to have sex in a certain places at certain times. Like, something about the way they go about sex is definitely particular, or it's like they want to be perfect in some type of way when it comes to sex. You know, it can mean that maybe they just choose to wait for the right person to have sex with, or maybe they just have a certain amount of standards that they have for the people that they have sex with. It's almost like they have a very logical view of sex, you know, and it's almost like a very mental way that they think about sex as well. Also, kind of feel like another way of saying this is like a Mars and Virgo person. It could be that they might just say, I'm not where I want to be in life, so I'm celibate. You know, they just want to focus on, if you're into tarot, they just want to focus on their pentacles. They just want to focus on collecting their coin. They just want to make sure they are where they need to be. So when they meet that right person and they finally do reach their goals and they start to look around for the right person, then they allow themselves to kind of, you know, explore and really find the person that they're looking for. You know, maybe they just have standards of themselves, you know, or they could just be very meticulous about how they are themselves as a lover. But I also want to say, too, the two-sided coin of that is that, like, because Virgo is such a very critical sign, it's important to make sure that people with their Mars and Virgo, that they don't become too critical of themselves as a lover, or become too critical of their own body. Because that will be projected onto other people, and other people are not going to like being criticized as a lover, and people are not going to be appreciative of their body being criticized either. So that's also like something to kind of keep in mind if you have your Mars and Virgo placement. Another thing, because Mars is all about how you defend yourself, I would so be careful about getting in an argument with a Mars and Virgo. So I called Mars and Gemini the placement that had the sharp tongue. And Gemini is lethal in an argument or a debate or in a fight, like a verbal fight. They're lethal because they have that ebb and flow. They know how to bob and weave. So when it comes to like combat or debate or anything like that type of like confrontational energy, Gemini has the swiftness to really move around and kind of like, you know, keep on just like avoiding all the hits and blows that are coming to them. Mars in Virgo is a little bit different. It's a little bit more tactical because Mars in Virgo, like I said, Virgo and Scorpio are both kind of like similar energies. They're homies, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like Mars in Virgo can be very calculated in itself as well. And they will see the flaws, your imperfections. Maybe they have studied you enough to know your insecurities, or they also maybe could pick up off of what you don't talk about when it comes to your insecurities. You know, what do you not praise yourself about, or what do you say about yourself that puts you down? A Mars and Virgo will pick that up, and in an argument, if they feel attacked, they will go in on you and they will tell you what flaws, what things you're missing, what you're not doing, that you haven't, like, they can go in too, you know. And Virgo is a little bit more critical, more analytical. And like I said, as a sign, it's cold. So sometimes a Mars and Virgo won't care about your feelings at all. They'll just attack you. So with that, I just want to say thank you for watching this video. Of course, comment below, subscribe to my channel, follow me on Instagram, look at my website, all of that. And I hope you enjoyed this video and you have a good rest of your day.